Any toxic behavior written, narrated, or illustrated in this piece is not condoned by the author, the narrator, and the artist in real life. This was purely written and created for fictional horror writing purposes. It contains triggering content that may be uncomfortable. Viewer discretion is advised. You sat across from the figure, stomach still rolling as you fully digested what just happened. Figuratively and literally. Since you were tricked into eating the flesh of Abastus, or otherwise known as your conscious quirk, you highly doubted you had any other choice other than playing this thing's game. As you sat across from the figure, both of your eyes locked in a death stare. You realized that this thing didn't kill your quirk just for the hell of it, or even self-defense. This thing killed Abastus to make sure that you would end up playing its game. And if you didn't, you knew that you would most likely meet a fate worse than what happened to Abastus. But before you could think any more of your current situation, almost on cue,
I can see you're still a little shocked from these recent events. So I say as a toast to your dearly and departed tool, we should move on to someone who has a similar quirk to yours.
The figure explained, which you could swear was the thing's attempt to rub more salt in the wound, causing you to grit your teeth. Just for another wave of nausea and dread hit you. You instantly realized who was next.
Yes. We'll be moving on to the resident goth of Class 1A, Fumikage Tokoyami. If I remember correctly, you two had bonded over the fact that you both shared a similar quirk. Yes?
It spoke, causing you to go over the relationship you had with Tokoyami in your head. Saying that you and Tokoyami bonded over the fact that you shared similar quirks, while it was accurate, it was not the only reason. When your class was moved into the dormitories after the Camino incident, everyone was expectantly a little tense, including yourself. While you did keep a brave demeanor towards Kendo, you ended up finding comfort in hanging out with Tokoyami, whether that be listening to music you both liked, or just having mini playdates between Dark Shadow and Abastus. Although hanging out with him didn't ease the burden of guilt you had from doing your job, causing a twinge of guilt to echo through your already wrecked form. And to top it all off,
I can see that I'm pretty close to the mark, so I guess we'll move on then.
The figure spoke before placing a mask that looked like Tokoyami's face over its head, its eyes still peering through the mask at you as the room began to dim to darkness. Shit. You spoke nervously.
Are you okay, traveler?
Asked Tokoyami, his eyes still on the night sky. It's just the whole height thing, you spoke, looking down at the bright lights of the city streets below you. Tokoyami had asked if you wanted to go to a spot where his old mentor used to take him to sightsee in the night sky. You were more than happy to join him until you were flying through the night sky with Tokoyami holding on to you.
Do you think we could go a little lower?
The bright lights of the city would weaken Dark Shadow, and I don't want to risk dropping you.
Tokoyami spoke while also tightening his grip on you.
Okay.
You trailed off as your eyes drifted back down towards the city streets. You looked down at the various people enjoying the night's city life as they passed by different restaurants and shops. Tokoyami considered his next words carefully.
At first, I was quite hesitant to fly when I interned under Hawks, and when I was initially resistant, he gave me some tips to help overcome my fear.
He spoke as he brought his hands up and ran it down your face, forcing your eyes to close.
When we're in a tense situation, our bodies tend to forget to breathe. And when we forget to breathe, our anxiety becomes much worse. So, concentrate on my voice and take in a deep breath for 4 seconds. And exhale that deep breath for 4 seconds.
Slowly, you took in some air into your lungs, then expunged it out. In and out. In and out. In and out. Slowly but surely, your body began to ease ever so slightly.
Now, I want you to keep your eyes closed and visualize me holding on to you as we fly across the night sky. Think about how I won't let you go, and how I won't let you fall.
You began doing just that, thinking about Tokoyami holding on to you. At the same time, your back was pressed against his chest with his arms firmly holding on to you while you drifted across the crisp night sky, causing you to nuzzle into your thick warm coat, which in turn made you nestle into Tokoyami's arms. His face turned a deep shade of red. You thought about Dark Shadow slowly gliding across the sky, his watchful eye looking over while you floated above the city. While you slowly opened your eyes, your anxiety slowly drifted away while you looked across the night horizon with dots of lights coming from windows and advertisements almost lighting your way as you floated by.
Thanks, Tokoyami.
You spoke happily, your fear evaporating while you looked down on the city below, no longer scared.
My pleasure, traveler.
Thanked Tokoyami, his face still flush red. Your fear started to wane, now noticing the various advertisements for various heroes flashing across bright billboards. You even smiled when you saw ads for some of your old friends from UA. You specifically chuckled at an advertisement for an anti-sweating deodorant for a certain manly hero.
That was nice of you, Tokoyami.
Dark Shadow spoke with a lazy smile, causing Tokoyami to flush a deeper red and for you to chuckle.
I just had to make sure they were alright during our flight.
He spoke, flustered.
Aw, I also thought it was nice too, Dark Shadow.
You teased playfully. Dark Shadow then brought her head next to yours.
Tokoyami likes being around you. He doesn't usually ask people to fly with him outside of work. Even then, it's still a rarity.
She spoke, still with a lazy smile.
Dark Shadow, please keep your attention on navigating us.
Scolded Tokoyami, causing Dark Shadow to return with a smirk.
So you like being around me, huh?
You asked.
Well, when we travel together. You're one of the few people who can calm Dark Shadow without having to battle him. You were one of the only people who took my gothic sense of style seriously. So far, you have been quite a pleasant companion to have when flying, compared to some of our friends who could be described as bright and loud. So that's also good.
He explained.
Wait, who's bright and loud?
You cut yourself short, remembering 90% of your old classmates from UA.
A particular friend of ours had a particularly adverse reaction to flying, and ended up shocking Dark Shadow and me out of the sky.
Continued Tokoyami with a sigh and a grimace, while he remembered an old mission he took a certain electric hero on.
Jeez, are you okay now?
You asked through a chuckle.
I'm fine, although it was still a pain pulling glass from my jeans.
He explained, although his stoic personality was making it difficult to see if he was joking or not.
Well, I'm glad I can be a good person for you to be around.
You spoke with a smile.
But to be honest, you've also been important for me too.
You rubbed the back of your head, causing Tokoyami's attention to be drawn back onto you.
When I first transferred to UA late in the year, I had to get to know the place while also having to get to know everyone, which wasn't easy. Hell, I don't think it would be for anyone being forced into a superhero-themed hierarchy. But when I met you, you helped me get through the trials and tribulations of having to deal with having to walk on eggshells with our homeroom teacher, being targeted by almost every other class, and getting attacked a surprisingly large amount of times by the League of Villains. But throughout the entire time, you managed to temper my anxiety and fears either by reveling in the dark or having late-night jam sessions with Jiro. Overall, you became my rock, and I don't think I'll ever be able to repay you for it.
Tokoyami, taken aback by your words, scrambled for the right ones to say.
I'm glad I could help, Traveler. But you don't ever need to worry about paying me back. For having you close to me is more than enough.
He smiled, while the both of you enjoyed each other's company. After a few minutes of silent flying, Tokoyami grabbed your attention.
It seems we have arrived.
He swooped down towards a rooftop, while also carefully placing you down onto its surface.
Alright, let's see what we have here.
You stopped as you gazed at the beautiful sight before you. You were on top of a fairly large building overlooking a beautiful green giant park with street lights leading to a hero monument in the center of the park. From the top of the building, you saw various couples walking across the park enjoying the night. You then pulled out your phone, noticing the time and the date, before pocketing it away.
June 19th, 11:32 p.m.
You spoke, causing Tokoyami to turn to you confused.
Just so I'll always remember this night.
Tokoyami smiled and nodded. Suddenly, Dark Shadow pulled both of you together, causing Tokoyami to turn to her flustered.
Dark Shadow!
He yelled before he felt you nuzzle into him.
It's fine. Let's enjoy the moment. Together.
You spoke calmingly, causing Tokoyami to smile and place his arms around and hold you closer. Although When Tokoyami placed his hands over your shoulders, you quickly noticed they had become much colder than before. You turned to them, now spotting them pale and stitched together, all the while wrapped in dirty bandages. You quickly turned your head back onto Tokoyami only to discover the figure holding onto you, still wearing the mask of Tokoyami's face on his. But now the eye holes excreted a strange, inky black substance.
Let's just cut to the chase.
It spoke before your vision suddenly faded into darkness.